Hello everyone, this is Addis Dialogue. I'm Sentayo Tamrat with this edition, and in this edition I will focus on the Ethio-Turkey bilateral ties. And my guest today is Turkish Ambassador to Ethiopia, Yaprak Alp. Welcome to Addis Dialogue, Ambassador Yaprak Alp.
Thank you for having me on this show.
Let's start with the general overview of the diplomatic ties between Turkey and Ethiopia. What are the focus areas and top priorities, as well as just the progress so far?
In general, Turkish-Ethiopian relations are excellent. And they have been excellent for a very, very long time because we have very historic relations. We have had ties for centuries, but if we want to talk about diplomatic relations, they started in 1896 when Menelik II and Abdülhamit II exchanged delegations. And Addis Ababa was the first capital in sub-Saharan Africa where Turkey opened a consulate in Harar in 1912 and an embassy in 1926. So we have been having official diplomatic relations for a very, very long time. Indeed, His Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister, Demek Mekanen, was in Ankara 2 months ago in order to celebrate the 125th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries. And of course, this turned into a very good meeting. Also, in order to recap, in order to summarize how relations have been and how relations should be taken forward between the two ministers. So this added a new impetus to Turkish-Ethiopian relations, especially in these days where all over the world we're going through difficult, complicated times. And these two old friends, Turkey and Ethiopia, were together again thinking about how they can overcome their challenges. Our relations encompass many areas: cultural, educational, investment, trade, political. We are the types of countries that face the same challenges. We both have to fight terrorism. We both are open-armed with migrants, refugees. So we face the same challenges, and we are trying to work together. We have been trying to work together at the UN on these issues, and we think we need to take this forward on the international arena.
Are there just some achievements so far based on the cooperation agreements the two countries have signed?
Oh, we have many, many agreements in economic terms, in political terms, and we are still working on many more on training issues where both sides are both benefiting from them, and I will go on to them in detail.
Your Excellency, the establishment of the TICA, Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency office in Addis Ababa in 2005, which is the first in Africa, and development aid programs towards Ethiopia have been significant steps which have contributed to the development of the ties between the two countries. So can we talk about those developments?
Again, Addis Ababa, again, Ethiopia was a first. It was TICA's first office in sub-Saharan Africa in Addis. So you can see the importance that Turkey attaches to Ethiopia, always a first. And since they have been here for a while, they have been doing many things. They have had over 200 projects in Ethiopia on agricultural, transport, tourism, and they are still working very hard to increase these projects. But two of the major achievements, I think, of TICA, would like to say just a few words about those. The one in the Nejashi Mosque tomb in Tigray, which was renovated by TICA and handed over to the Ethiopian government last summer. This, of course, is a very, very important spot for Muslims, but also for the whole international cultural community. And so we were very proud to do that. The second project that TICA completed was the consulate in Harar that was opened in 1912. Of course, with years passed, the consulate was closed and the building was almost demolished. There was almost nothing left. And then TICA came in and restored it. And now it's a Turkish cultural center in Harar, teaching Turkish, teaching handicrafts, etc. And it has become a lively part of the Harari culture, a city with which Turkey has very close affinities.
So with the ongoing economic boom in Ethiopia, nations like India and China, among others, have shown interest in winning significant shares of the economy as well as the Ethiopian market. So I know for the fact that the Turkish companies have taken their share too. It has been said, for instance, the total Turkish investment volume surpassed $2 billion here in Ethiopia. So What is the current status?
Turkey is currently the #2 investor in Ethiopia after China. We have 2.5 billion US dollars of investment. And Ethiopia is the country in sub-Saharan Africa where Turkey invests the most. Again, Ethiopia is #1, as I told you, for Turkey. These investments, just to show how fast it happened, in 2005 there were only 3 Turkish companies. In 2021 there are 250 Turkish companies. So in a matter of 16 years, the number of companies increased by 245. That is huge. Of course, the aim of Turkey is to continue this investment in Ethiopia.
Could you tell us just the suitability of Ethiopian markets as well as the investment climate?
Well, Turkish investors, as I said, have been here since around 2005. When I talk to them, they tell me they're now almost Ethiopian. So they're both Ethiopian investors and Turkish investors. That's the way we should look at them. They feel they are a part of this community. With its problems or with its advantages, in good times, in bad times, they feel they are part of this country. They bring technical know-how to this country. They bring vocational training. They bring foreign currency with the exports that they do. They do lots of humanitarian work around their companies, in the towns in which they function. So these companies don't feel that, oh, when something is going wrong, when something is difficult, let me leave. Turkish investors are not like that. That's what makes Turkish investors different. When there were other problems, such as energy issues and security issues before, they always found ways to overcome these problems. They are very creative people. That's the way they did it. And Turkey's wish is for them to be here, to stay as a part of Ethiopia. They wish to stay here as a part of Ethiopia. They are facing certain problems right now, but we are working very hard with the Ethiopian government, with the very friendly Ethiopian government, to overcome these problems, and I'm sure we will, because it really is a huge advantage to have these companies here for both sides.
Let's now turn our attention to education, and the Turkish government provides undergraduate and postgraduate scholarships for Ethiopian students. As of 2020, 632 Ethiopian students have been awarded scholarships at various Turkish universities. Your reflection on this, please?
I think there are many Ethiopian students want to go study in Turkey, both undergraduate, master's, doctorate. I think the reason is this cultural affinity that Ethiopians also feel towards Turkey and vice versa. We organize exams every year, and the demand is huge. Hundreds of students apply, and we have been sending an increasing number every year. It was 40 and then 50 and then 60 and 70 every year, so now we're at a high number. I think this is huge. Number one, because Ethiopian students come back to Ethiopia. That's what we want. We want them to come back here in order to give back to their own country as engineers, as doctors, as chemists, whatever they have studied. So we're happy that we're helping Ethiopia educate more of its youth. Number two, because they form bridges between Turkey and Ethiopia. When these students come back after 4, 5, 6 years, of course they have learned to love Turkey. And they come here and they become ambassadors of Turkey just like me. They tell other Ethiopians how Turkey is doing, why Turkey is a good friend. And I think this is very important. And the Ethiopian students have formed a students' association, which is also active in trying to make sure that the bonds between the two countries are even more strengthened. I think this is a very good policy that Turkey has, giving scholarships. And it has proven to be very fruitful for the relations between our two countries.
Would you please mention Turkey's role in cooperating with AU's peacemaking efforts in the Horn region, particularly in relation with the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam dispute, as well as the border dispute with Sudan?
Turkey believes that the Horn of Africa is hugely important. I think everybody believes that. With the important countries here, Ethiopia being at the center, the fact that everything that happens in Ethiopia and the Horn affects the Middle East and the wider region as a whole, number one, is very important for the stability. That's why Turkey wants stability, because you affect everything around you. Number two, because of our friendly relations. Of course, we only want peace and prosperity for Ethiopia. Number three, the amount of relations that we have with Ethiopia and the other countries in the Horn of Africa, Somalia, Sudan, Djibouti, they're huge. We have embassies everywhere. in all of these countries. We are heavily invested in all of these countries, and we feel that their prosperity is our prosperity. That's the way we look at this. That's what we want for this. Now, we will only be involved if the countries involved want us to be involved. So, for example, when Ethiopia said a couple of months ago to the press, the spokesperson of the foreign ministry said that Ethiopia wanted Turkey to mediate on the land issue between Sudan and Ethiopia, we said if both parties want it, we are always ready to help. Turkey is head with Finland of the mediation group at the United Nations, and so we believe in mediation, and we believe as a country that can understand several cultures at once, we may be able to be of some help. But of course this would only be if we were asked to. Then we would always be ready to help our friends. On the GERD issue, we also have a water issue. We also have a dam. We are also an upstream country, just like Ethiopia. And so we have a lot of experience on this issue. We believe that the countries involved should usually solve these water issues. They are the ones who are affected by it, upstream, downstream, etc. And we hope that this issue will be solved very soon for the benefit of all countries.
What is the stance of Turkey government in relation with the GERD, particularly is Ethiopia's stance right in using the water equitably with among all the riparian countries, not only the 3 countries, but all the riparian countries?
We believe that water resources should be to the benefit of everybody. We believe that this should be done through negotiation between the parties. This should only be to the benefit. And we believe and hope that this will be solved within the African Union according to the rules that the 3 countries put together.
Well, so some countries interfere with the internal affairs of Ethiopia. For example, the Tigray region conflict. You know that the conflict started with the TPLF forces attacked the Northern Command Ethiopian National Defense Force. And while the issue started this way, but some countries, governments and media are manipulating the issue in other way and just voicing their interests. What's Turkey's interest here?
Turkey has always said since the beginning of this issue that for us the political unity of Ethiopia is important, that the territorial integrity of Ethiopia is important, and we want this to continue in the way that you wish. Political unity, territorial integrity are the words that we have been using all along. Now, we see that there's a humanitarian situation in Tigray, and we have been talking to our Ethiopian counterparts at all levels about this issue. They have been very open, telling us what's happening, and we have said that we are ready to help and cooperate in any way that the Ethiopian government wants us to. So as long as there's a demand, a request to our side, we will try to do what we can according to the wishes of the Ethiopian government. And we hope that soon this issue will be resolved, and the booming economy and the growing role of Ethiopia in this region will continue as we have been seeing.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ambassador Yaprak Alp.
Thank you very much.